Pro-government supporters, the young, middle-aged and aged, took to the headquarters of the Ghana Elections Commission, Gecom, calling for the conduct of house-to-house registration before regional and general elections are held. The picketing exercise was fueled by talks from the opposition that elections should be held within the next 2 to 3 months. And while Gecom has commenced preparations for house-to-house registration, an election within 2 to 3 months will put the conduct of the registration in jeopardy.
Thousands of our young people stand a tremendous opportunity to be disenfranchised if we go with the old voters list. We know that thousands of them would have turned 18 since the advent of the old list, and so house-to-house registration will ensure that all our young people are enfranchised. And so that is what we are calling for, and that's what I'm lending my support to.
Firstly, I must say that under the PPP government, a lot of injustices has happened to my family and my community, and I don't want that to repeat. But today's protest is wholly and solely because I have 2 adult children who are not on the voters list. And I try to multiply that by every home in Guyana. Right? If it is that they don't renew that list, my children wouldn't vote. And if my 2 children don't vote, every house got 2 children who are not allowed to vote. That in itself is illegal.
I recently have 2 nieces and 1 nephew who turned 18, and I ask myself questions: how these young people going to exercise their rights to vote at this coming election? So I believe strongly that house-to-house registration must happen to give our young people a chance to exercise their rights. And when we talk about democracy, that is democracy.
The opposition continues to argue that with the continuous registration process, persons are registered from the age of 14, and the last such process was conducted in July of 2018. However, the life of the current official list of electors would have expired on April 30 last. Just before the expiry of the list, it was used for the November 2018 local government elections without complaint from any political party, according to the opposition.
Since 2015 to now, many people have passed, right? Those names are still on the list. You cannot compare local government election to a general election, national election you're talking about. And that is where I feel house-to-house registration must happen. You know, the list expired recently, I think it was April, and I believe that we cannot go to election with such a list that expire.
We don't want after the elections petitions and all this sort of thing. We want credible elections.
Well, Michael, are you concerned about the fact that, let's assume that these elections are held in November, that it could create some unease in some section of the society?
It's impossible to please everyone. Some persons want the elections to happen tomorrow, but then some of us want the elections to happen in November, some in March, different times. What we are interested in is ensuring that no one is disenfranchised. We want to ensure that everyone gets the opportunity to vote. We also want to ensure that the official list of electors is a credible list, that it does not have persons that are dead. We had an issue in Mabaruma in the last local government elections where there were persons who were dead that ended up as nominators on the PPP list.
They want to see the Gecom start the registration as soon as possible so it can allow the young people to go out, exercise their democratic right, and elect the government who they want to run their country in the year coming like 2020, which is a crucial year for Guyana.
But what about opposition supporters that are saying that, listen, this house-to-house registration is not necessarily needed for the conduct of these elections? What are your thoughts, people who might be sharing that view from the opposition side?
Well, basically, that is very simple, because if you look at it, right, it's a fact and it's very understandable that from the 2015 to now, thousands of people become the age of 18.
President David Granger has already stated that he cannot make a proclamation on the holding of elections unless he is informed by Gecom.
There is one resounding call out here, and that is there must be house-to-house registration before any regional and general elections. Anna Duncan, HGP Nightly News, Main Street, Georgetown.